We'll try and understand exactly the sequence, what happened. Shazia, thank you for speaking to NewsX. I want to understand from you exactly what happened there.
You know, we went there as part of a delegation. I went to represent WAFUNA in India. WAFUNA is the World Federation of United Nations Association. And we went there early in the morning. I landed at 7 in the morning and my program started at 9. So I was part of the delegation which was talking about the need for peace. After that, we went to pay our respects to the Indian ambassador, Ms. Supriya ji, and it was a wonderful meeting. After that, we were just spending time in a cafe, all the delegates, international delegates too, and discussing India and all the Kashmir-related matters, because a lot of people from abroad were very curious about what's going on. And to my utter surprise and shock, when we left, we were trying to take a taxi, and just when we got in, we saw these flags, you see, and we saw photographs, and the photographs showed India in very poor light, and they were definitely not from India. You know what happened in the United Nations when Maliha Lodhi showed wrong pictures, and it was later found out that those pictures were from Gaza. Yes. And not from India or Kashmir. Yes. And they were trying to say India Murdabad, and they were saying the kind of things they were saying that I will not say them on a channel, on a national channels. You know, I was very upset, and we had just had two choices. I thought either I speak out and get detained, and you know, and we didn't even know that somebody would be taking a video, whether the video will be there, whether somebody can even speak up for us. Because this was far away from the Indian embassy, and we'd already met them almost an hour earlier, you see. So it was just us, and I just said no. At least we went, and I went up and I said, I am from India, and please don't abuse a PM, and do not say this, and this is wrong. Kashmir is part of India. We are not saying anything. I mean, if you should be talking about Balochistan.
Yes.
Why are you talking about Kashmir? You know, they got so angry, that part is not visible, but they tried to rough us up. Then the Korean policemen came and they tried to take us away. And they wouldn't understand because, you know, very little English is actually spoken there, and some of the naras were in Hindustani, I mean in Urdu. So I told them, like, we can't bear this and do not do this. But I said the only thing I have at that point of time is say India Zindabad. I didn't have anything else, you see. I didn't have any numbers, any support of any other kind. But I said we must at least register our protest peacefully. We must do that. And it doesn't matter if you get detained. It's all right, but we have to speak up. It's important. It's my duty as an Indian to speak out against any disrespect that is being spewed by anybody, against my Prime Minister, against my country, and against my army. So I just felt that wherever we are, we don't have to feel scared. And even if you are alone, there is a lot of courage in confidence, in belief, in conviction, and the power of conviction is huge. So luckily for me, we had to leave the next day. I mean, I left the next day. So this happened on 16th. 17th morning, afternoon, I took the flight. I landed, it's only 7 hours. I landed in the evening yesterday. And only when my plane touched down India, then I decided to send the video out. Whatever I was getting. And if you see, there's another thing that disturbed me, which is there towards the later part of the video. Yes.
Yes, go ahead, Shazia, go ahead.
They kept saying Allahu Akbar. This is towards the end. I mean, I'm going to release that video. I'm trying to find and you know, you will not believe it. Why are they getting Allahu Akbar in a political protest? I find that very problematic. Are they trying to appeal to the Ummah? So I told the Korean authorities, do not allow it, and this part is not there. But I said it later that I am an Indian Muslim. Our heart beats for India. We will not stand for false propaganda. And this is totally fake. And you know, can I tell you, it was very organized. You can't see them, but there were some photographs and pamphlets which are very damaging to India's reputation and to the reputation of Indians. And it was very disturbing and absolutely unbearable for me to hear.
You know, Shazia, having heard the initial parts, I want to understand from you and describe to our viewers that...
I could just only say India Zindabad.
Yeah, fantastic job there as an Indian, and we are proud of you, Shazia. And any Indian with that confidence and that respect would have done the same, exactly what you
did. Only as an Indian.
Yes.
Only as an Indian, no other capacity.
Certainly. Shazia, I want to understand from you, before we take this conversation forward, as you mentioned that the protest appeared organized. Did you manage to figure out that if these protesters were Pakistani or Pakistani origin, so that we'll be able to understand exactly who are the set of people behind this? I can see a couple of Pakistani flags there, but were these actually Pakistanis or the outsourced Pakistani sponsored protesters?
Yes, they were.
Okay, that brings me to the...
I can't tell that,
yes,
but
they
were Pakistanis because of the way they were speaking when we tried to speak to them. They were Pakistanis, and they were very aggressive, and they were very well organized, and they were, not forget flags, but they were carrying posters and they were photographs,
yes,
and showing India in very, very poor light, depicting atrocities allegedly being perpetrated by Indian army. And in a foreign country, imagine the impression that people get who are Koreans and tourists about India.
Okay.
And I think it was my duty to protest at that point of time, which is exactly what I did. I said, forget about everything. If I get detained, I'll get detained. It doesn't matter. But properly, in a very peaceful way, in a dignified way, I said, I will speak. And I said, I couldn't say anything else, you see, because they were roughing me up. And I didn't care.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.